to experience a KMA Entertainment presentation.
Coming to you from JiggyJaguar.com, the #1 talk show host on the net, and the ratings prove it. From Asia to Canada, the man, the myth, the legend, Jiggy Jaguar, on the Jiggy Jaguar radio show.
Here we are. Welcome to the world famous Jiggy Jaguar show, the interesting edition of the show today. Thanks for tuning in to the Jiggy Jaguar radio program of the Transmedia Worldwide Studios. In the great Salt City of Wichita, Kansas, we're live Monday through Friday. 2 to 5 Central, 3 to 6 Eastern, and 12 to 3 Pacific, 24/7. At JiggyJaguar.com, and our podcast is available at JiggyJaguar.com. We are trying something new today. We're going to see if this works. And our first guest, we're going to get them on Skype here in just a few moments. A relationship expert, somebody we've had on in the past. Helen Chen is going to be with us here in a few moments. So let's call Helen on the old Skype, Rooney, and see what we can get worked out here. Thanks for joining us here on the world famous Jiggy Jaguar show, coast to coast and border to border. And we are going to see if Helen is there. And
Hi.
there she is! Holy shnikes! Look at that! Helen, how are you?
Fine, very wonderful.
You are always so full of energy. I just am blown away. Whatever you're doing energy-wise, you need to package it and sell it. I think it would be the next big thing in the world. Helen Chen with us today here on the program. Helen has been on this broadcast a couple different times. We always love bringing her in every once in a while. She does a lot of traveling, and she just goes all over the place telling everybody about advice and giving advice to people and sharing the love, I guess, is what you would commonly say there, Helen. We're going to talk today here on the big broadcast. I'm getting all of our nonsense here set up for our television viewers so they can actually see you. So they can be like, hey, look, there's Helen on my computer screen. And we are trying to get all this done here. And Helen is with us today. Helen, let's talk a little bit about your new book. I understand you have a new book out there.
Yes, called the Helen Chen's Love Seminar.
Why did you write this book?
Basically, I find out so many people ask the similar question all the time, and then they researching for the answer. So I have all the seminar, and then I write it into the book, and all the essence and all the concentration, so all the answer people are asking for. So this book is giving people all the things they want to ask, and all the question about the relationship, about love, about how to get along, and really, go through the most beautiful life it possible be. So I do my best to give people this gift.
Now, Helen, when you sat down to write this book, what was the main goal, and did it change over the course of writing the book?
I basically want the people to really receive this best information, which can carry them through, maybe come to my seminar, maybe not, but then they can go through their relationship by reading the book, so they could actually practice and understand how the relationship is needs and wants. So all the people, doesn't matter man or woman, and doesn't matter, after you divorce or you're dating or you do a lot of dating and you still don't find the answer, don't find the right person. After this book, it will tell you all the answer, and then you could really, after this information, really brave enough to go into the relationship.
I love that. We've got Helen Chen with us today. She's an unorthodox matchmaker. She's a best-selling author, and she's delivered a bombshell to singles attending her love seminar in Los Angeles recently. You revealed that many singles have spent tremendous time and money to keep up with the romantic actions to court a person. Tell me a little bit about this.
People do so much dating, and then people try to, like, okay, this is the only one chance I have in life. I want to have a good marriage, and then I want to find the perfect, the Mr. Right. And then I try to tell people, you don't spend so much time to do the dating. It's just wasting your energy.
That's cool. That's really cool. I have wasted a lot of time.
You were using so much time to take care of other's spouse. Actually, that's what happened. So if you're dating very long and then you're taking care of your girlfriend, actually, eventually she's going to marry to somebody else. So you are taking care of other people's wife or the other man.
You are completely correct. Spending so much time taking care of somebody else. I love that. Helen Chin with us today. She is an amazing individual. We've had her on the broadcast a couple times in the past, and Chin has termed this as taking care of someone else's wife or someone else's husband, as we were talking there. For the ladies, Chin said they have committed the same mistakes. Why is it that women have committed the same mistakes as men?
Because women, try to take care of the boyfriend, and some of the women even go that far, go to wash the laundry for the man, and then, clean the house and cook for this man, and, prepare all the vitamin, and, do everything actually wife should do. But then they are not married. So after maybe 3 years, 2 years, then they separate. So this man go to marry, but then she's not a bride. And what happens to all of the energy and what is all this care you spend? It's like other people's husband. So eventually, if you don't marry in the right time, at the fastest you could, you actually ended up taking care of other people's husband for another woman. And then they don't appreciate you either.
Helen Chin with us today. She is the matchmaker of the century. She is joining us today via Skype. For our television viewers, you can go over to our to the Starcom TV network and watch us talk to her live. You can also listen to us on the radio, of course, here on 50-plus stations throughout the U.S. and Canada. And modern-day dating sets up the relationship to fail. Stats show that over 90% of dating ends up in breakups. Why is that, Helen?
When you marry, you have a hard time to go through what I call the first 3 years. You have to be like a grinding and try to be matching each other and, try to adapt to each other. And while you're dating, all these problems become so huge. You become see the other person's outpoint, and you can start see the person's drawback, which you're going to see in the marriage also. But the interesting thing is, if you marry, you will go through. And if you're dating, you will break up. So it's just wasting your time to keep going dating, because it doesn't matter who you date with. Your problem is the same because you are the same person. So you keep going making the same mistake, and you keep going dating and you didn't go through. So you keep going broken your heart, and eventually after 10 years, you become 30, 40, you lost the trust. And you start to feel very sad, and you start to don't like this relationship, and you start to become afraid of going to the marriage. And this is a really bad tragedy, and we don't want that to happen to you.
Helen Chin with us today here on the broadcast. Helen had some attendees recently at one of her love seminars. They have been saying some rave reviews about you, Helen. Why is it people just love the heck out of these seminars that you put on?
First of all, they can see their problems. You see, always we see other people's problem, and you don't really know you create this problem. So when you come to the love seminar, I actually bring you through and for you to see more about yourself, and you understand what is really the relationship wants. It's not like I give you the perfect prince or princess and you're gonna have a happy life. No, not like that. You need to learn how to create. You need to know how you enjoy the love, because to be loved and love is an ability. You need to learn that. You need to train, and you can get better and better and better. So there's a hope for everyone.
I love that. We've got Helen Chin with us today. She's a best-selling author. She has some incredible stats here. She's helped over 100 men and women to get married regardless of their past failures. She is just absolutely amazing. She's got this brand new book out. When did you decide you wanted to put a book together, another one? Because you've written several in the past.
Yes, I just keep going writing. Actually, I'm writing another one already now, So I just try to keep myself, all my knowledge, and then I can do my best and fast the possibility I put it out, because I feel this information do help people, and I enjoy so much to service others and then helping people and share with other people and find out more and better way to get the better relationship so everybody can enjoy the happiness in life.
Well, Helen, you have an amazing track record for helping people in their relationships and everything. It's truly an honor to speak with you today. Helen, before we let you go, what's some of the new projects you're working on? You said you're working on another book. Right. I'm assuming you're going all over the country and speaking and doing these seminars, but what else you got going on?
I'm talking about the next one, the art of communication. Basically, I think if you can improve your talking skill, your communication ability, you will making your love more fulfilled and more sweet, because they all need to be trained. So a lot of people with good heart and then maybe very beautiful and maybe very handsome, but sometimes they're just not good enough.
Well, that is correct, I'll have to say. Helen Chin's been with us today. Helen, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it. Thanks for being on.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, Helen. Helen Chin with us today here on the program. You can get more information on what we are up to over there at JiggyJaguar.com. And Helen Chin's been our guest. We're going to take a very, 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 very quick time out here. When we come back, we will have Rob Finkelstein with us. Rob is an amazing guy, and so glad we got him here on a Friday. We'll be back after this here on the big broadcast. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12 weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12 weeks.com.
Hey, Monica, that's quite a nice car you've got there, but how do you afford a Porsche on your salary?
I have my secrets, Tom.
Come on, Monica, help me.
Here's my secret. Forex scalping.
Forex? I've heard of that. It's some sort of investment. But wait, when did you have time to learn how to do that?
By going to fxaddicts.com and taking their live online course.
And how long did that take? A year?
5 days.
Only 5 days?
Yes. And I received a free copy of Forex Secrets, Successful Scalping Strategies from the Dark Side.
I bet it was expensive.
Nope, only $147.
So only 5 days and $147? Where do I sign up?
At fxaddicts.com. And if you tell them I told you about it, you can get 10% off the course and get the book.
What a sweet deal.
Yes, Tom, it is a sweet deal. That's fxaddicts.com or call us direct at 646-396-8108.
Do you have a breathing problem or know someone who does? Jason here for AJ Pure Air. I want to recommend an air purifier that will change people's lives today. The new Silent Night air purifier blows the competition away with a new filtering technology known as ZEPA. That's with a Z for Zero Emissions Particle Arrestor. Get this, it is totally silent because there is no fan. Silent Night puts out 100 cubic feet of near perfect air per minute, continually capturing thousands of allergens, dust mites, mold spores, and germs. This Zeppa Concept machine is more effective, totally silent, uses 1/10 of the energy, and it is 40% less expensive. Check out the Silent Night at ajpureair.com. That's ajpureair.com. 3 words says it all. Wow and totally silent.
JG Traveler, bringing you the unique blend of music, sci-fi, and vlogging, entertaining over 500,000 people and continuing worldwide. Let's go traveling across the world with JG Traveler. Find him on YouTube, JG Traveler. It's youtube.com/JG Traveler. Oh yeah.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily? This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
The 2013 World Series should have been a big television draw. The Boston Red Sox and St. Louis Cardinals, historic franchises, national followings. Each team boasts great pitchers and interesting storylines. So why did this fall classic get a ho-hum reaction from baseball fans? World Series TV viewership plummeted in 2005 and reached an all-time low last October. The Red Sox and Cardinals series had the 3rd worst audience average with games airing in prime time. Baseball still wrestles with performance-enhancing drug problems that won't go away. Maybe the steroid era spoiled the casual baseball fan. Regardless, this was a great series with errors, blunders, questionable calls, and a slugger that may have been juiced up. Congratulations to the Boston Red Sox for winning the World Series. I'm Dave Ferguson of BeyondTheCheers.com, and this has been a Beyond the Cheers moment.
Back to the Jiggy Jaguar Show on the network.
Welcome back to the broadcast from Transmedia Worldwide Studios in the great Salt City of Hutchinson, Kansas. We are live Monday through Friday, 2 to 5 Central, 3 to 6 Eastern, and 12 to 3 Pacific. 24/7 at JiggyJaguar.com on the TuneIn apps and Radio Loyalty. Our podcast is available at JiggyJaguar.com. And I'll tell you, we're having fun today. It's a fabulous Friday. We just got done speaking with Helen Chin, relationship expert. And now we're going to get a guest on here who is a smart guy. Was talking to him a little bit between the break here, and he is a very, very, very well-trained and well-knowledged individual. Ron, go ahead and give us a brief introduction on yourself, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. What I do is I work with small businesses, and we help them grow sales and increase revenue. And it's all based on 6 books that I've written, everything from one in sales, one in marketing, leadership. But the latest one that just came out about a month ago is called Make a Difference, From Being Successful to Being Significant. And I'm really proud of that. I think that's probably one of my best works.
Now, what was the writing process like for this book?
You know, ironically, this book from idea to production took about a month. One of my friends came over, actually one of my clients, and he'd read a book, and he said, Ron, I do teach 9 principles in everything that I do, because if we get the behaviors right, the results will come. And he goes, those 9 principles fit this book format. And the book was called The Go-Givers, and I read The Go-Givers, and I said, he's right. So what I did is I gave 20 pages of single-spaced, point font, typewritten notes to my co-author and said, here's what I want to do. And his name is Michael Araka, and within a matter of about 3 weeks, he had a draft manuscript in my hands that we edited together.
Wow. That's a hell of a turnaround.
Well, you know, it was, and it was really cool because Mike edits all my books, and so he knew all my material, and I think that's what made it possible, because nothing that I gave him was something that he hadn't already read or used or something in one of my other books. So it's a real exciting working with Mike and collaborating on this project, because it was just something both of us got really pumped about.
Now, the book itself is a handy little guide on just all sorts of different things. It follows right along with some of your other books. How does it intermingle with the previous books you've put out in the past?
Well, the first book I wrote was an operations book. It was 14 Ways to Create a Successful Company, and that was followed by a management and leadership called The Platinum Role for Small Business Mastery. Then came 49 Marketing Secrets that Work to Grow Sales, and then came the 9 Principles. It's called 9 Principles for Inspired Action. This book was, even though it took about 30 days to go and to actually produce, it was actually 12 years in process, studying successful people, testing it in my coaching program, and then finally launching it through. And what makes it different is that a lot of people really believe in what they're doing. They're very significant, but they're poor as a church mouse, because they don't have the business skills to know how to price their products or marketing skills to promote their product. And then on the other hand, you got people who are, by any standard, considered successful, but they don't feel like they're significant. And what we try to do is bridge that gap so that you can be both successful in what you do and make money and feel good about it, and yet have your product or service be transformational in the lives of others, allowing you to make a difference in what you do and be significant.
Now, how do you think this book is going to relate to your audience?
Well, I'm hoping that it relates very well, because the target market for this are individual business owners or people who have to, what I like to think of, eat what they kill. So if they don't know how to...
That's great. I love that.
If they don't know how to sell, if they don't know how to market, if they don't understand any of that stuff, what we can do is we can get them started and short-circuit the process a little bit by getting them focused on the right behaviors, because the right behaviors will make up for a lot of past sins, because the right behaviors drives your action, and the actions what drive results. So what we're really trying to do is get them clear on what's important to them and why it's important.
There is a lot of books out there that kind of tackle this subject. What is the, what's the difference between your book and some of the others out there?
You know, that's a great question, and there is a lot of books out there. And I don't know that I'm equipped to answer that, because there is just so many out there, but let me tell you why I think mine is different. I ran a conference in early 2000. I was the executive director of a nonprofit, and what we did is we showcased small businesses. And what I did is I asked them to tell me what they did right, and then we selected the top 12 and showcased them in between 300 and 500 people. And I ran that conference for 5 years and saw thousands of nominations. And what I teased out, I started to see patterns. The same 9 behaviors were being exhibited by all the successful companies that we showcased. So what I did is I said, and I started talking to these people and researching them and actually teasing out the details. And then I implemented it in my coaching program, and I started testing each of the 9 behaviors. And I found something very fascinating, is that not only did we increase sales, but people were saying that their work was much more significant to them. It was much more meaningful, and they were developing a passion again for their business. And what I came to realize is that we have developed a process that allows people to grow sales, increase revenue, and at the same time feel really good about what they're doing because they know it has a major impact on people's lives. That's what I mean. It was 12 years in testing and production. This isn't theory. This isn't somebody just coming up with an idea. This is about 12 years of solid research with literally thousands of different individuals.
We've got a tremendous guest with us today. By the way, how do we get a hold of you on the internet? Is there a website or anything we can direct people to?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Let me just give you the business one that we use to grow sales and increase revenue. That's called businessgrowthexperience.com. And let me repeat that, businessgrowthexperience.com.
Now, tell me about that website. What can people find when they head over there?
Well, what we're going to do is if they choose to opt in, we're going to give them a free gift, and the free gift is called the 6 questions that your prospects want you to answer before they buy. And again, that's another research project. That took me about 5 years to really flush these out. But there's 6 questions. And the 6 questions, once you answer them, it drives your marketing program, it drives your website content, it drives your brochure, it even drives your sales strategy. And that is one of the major components of my coaching program, is getting those questions answered and building strategies that work to help people grow sales. So I would invite all of your listeners to go to businessgrowthexperience.com. Just plug in your email address. You'll get an email, and attached to that email will be the white paper.
Now, with your other books, what has been some of the reaction you've gotten from some of the other books out there?
Well, that's a great question because the results really vary. Sometimes I get emails out of the blue from people saying, "Oh my God, I read your book and it's just changed my life." I get comments from people that are in my coaching program because a lot of the material's in my books, and they read it and they go, "Oh my goodness, I'm thinking differently about it." And some other people who are pretty sophisticated will say, "There's not really much new here." And I'll say, maybe for you there's not much new because you're pretty experienced. This program may not be right for you, but there is a lot of people that don't have your experience and background. So it depends on where their background is, what their experience is, and what their mindset is to answer that question more effectively.
Now, the book is incredible. You've got a lot of books out there. How long does it take you to write some of these?
Well, when I first started, my first book took me about 18 months from idea through research to conception. The last 2 books that we did, the prior book is called The Definitive Sales Playbook, where I teamed up with Dr. Alessandra, and that was 30 days from idea to conception. It was 30 days through the publication process. And Make a Difference was about 3 weeks to 4 weeks through the process. So I've got this down where I can produce a book a month if I really wanted to.
Wow, that is amazing. Now, how does this new book impact society?
Well, I'm hoping it does, because one of the core principles that I teach in is called enlightened self-interest. And what I'm asking people to do is to get selfish with their time, energy, and money. Because if you don't get selfish on what's important to you, somebody else will take your time, energy, and money and use it for their best interest and not yours. So the intent behind that is that you've got to be ethical and honest and solicit feedback from people, but it's your life, and if you don't take ownership for it, somebody else will.
That is really cool. Now, the website, businessgrowthexperience.com. Ron Finkelstein's our guest today. He's been at training and coaching, 10 years or so? You've been at it for a while.
Yeah, probably closer to 15. Been around the block a few times. One of the few coaches that have been around and not in and out of the business in a few years.
What makes you so successful?
Because everything that I teach, I implement in my own business. So that's why I know it works. That's
cool. That's really cool. Now, you've got a blog over on this website. What do you blog about over there?
I blog about what hits my fancy. I wrote a blog post, and I don't know if I put it on that one or ronfinkelstein.com, another website. And I talked about why people schedule a meeting or register for an event and then they don't show. And then it was just a discussion about integrity, that if you register for something and you don't show, or you commit to be somewhere and you're late, that reflects very poorly on you, on your integrity and on your personal integrity as a salesperson. Can you be dependable? And I posted that on LinkedIn, and my goodness, I couldn't believe the traction I got. Apparently I hit a very sensitive subject with a lot of people who are just tired of that kind of thing.
So what were some of the reactions you got?
Oh, some of them. One was a management consultant. He goes, if they don't show, I confront their behavior. And he goes, if they're doing it because they don't want to deal with the turnaround in the business, then I have an out in my contract saying that I can drop them. Somebody else was saying, I'll give them one time, but if it happens again, they're done. I was really impressed by how hardcore the successful people are in terms of protecting their time and making sure that it's not being wasted by people who are insensitive. Because to me, being late is the ultimate sign of disrespect.
It's an incredible, incredible day. We've got Ron Finkelstein with us today here on the broadcast talking about his website, his books. What's next for you? Is there anything coming down the pike that you wanna make people aware of?
Oh, thank you for asking. Yes, I have a big project I'm working on. I have a methodology that drives everything I do. It's called the right choice, the right skills, the right behaviors, the right tools, the right action, and the right relationships. And what I'm doing is I'm actually launching a program to license this out to other business coaches or sales coaches who don't have a methodology. And it's really featured around custom sales coaching, because we take you through a sales assessment, and then we literally define where the strengths and weaknesses are, and we build a custom program to address the weaknesses. So I'm really excited about that possibility. We just signed a contract with Parti Group, who is going to help me take that nationwide here over the next 12 months.
Well, it seems like you've got a lot of irons in the fire. I appreciate you being on with us today. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, it's a real pleasure, and thank you for having me and allowing me to share some of these ideas. That's exciting for me.
Well, one more time before we let you go, mention the website so people can get a hold of you.
Yeah, you can reach me through businessgrowthexperience.com, or if you want to, where I do all my real blogging, it's at ronfinkelstein.com, and Finkelstein spelled Finkelstein.
Now, we didn't get a chance to really talk about that website. What do you have going on over there, real quick?
Well, that's primarily my public speaking website. Where I feature my topics and some products in my press kit, and that's where I do most of my blogging, because when topics come up, I like to, if I can write about them, then I understand them, and that's why I write. I don't write because I like it. I write because when I can put a book together, that means I understand it. And that's where, under ronfinkelstein.com, is where I test ideas and concepts and write articles that people might find intriguing.
Well, it's amazing stuff. Thanks for being on with us today, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
I look forward to it. Thanks again.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Ron.
Bye-bye.
We're going to take a time out when we come back here on TalkRadioX.com and the Stockholm Radio Network. Small Business Friday continues. Gary Bronga on the way at 38 minutes after the hour. Thanks for joining us. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K. The number 12 weeks.com.
Hey, Monica, that's quite a nice car you've got there, but how do you afford a Porsche on your salary?
I have my secrets, Tom.
Come on, Monica, help me.
Here's my secret. Forex scalping.
Forex? I've heard of that. It's some sort of investment. But wait, when did you have time to learn how to do that?
By going to fxaddicts.com and taking their live online course.
And how long did that take? A year?
5 days.
Only 5 days?
Yes. And I received a free copy of Forex Secrets, Successful Scalping Strategies from the Dark Side.
I bet it was expensive.
Nope, only $147.
So only 5 days and $147? Where do I sign up?
At fxaddicts.com. And if you tell them I told you about it, you can get 10% off the course and get the book.
What a sweet deal.
Yes, Tom, it is a sweet deal. That's fxaddicts.com or call us direct at 646-396-8108.
Do you have a breathing problem or know someone who does? Jason here for AJ Pure Air. I want to recommend an air purifier that will change people's lives today. The new Silent Night air purifier blows the competition away with a new filtering technology known as ZEPA. That's with a Z for Zero Emissions Particle Arrestor. Get this, it is totally silent because there is no fan. Silent Night puts out 100 cubic feet of near perfect air per minute, continually capturing thousands of allergens, dust mites, mold spores, and germs. This ZEPA concept machine is more effective, totally silent, uses 1/10 of the energy, and it is 40% less expensive. Check out the Silent Night at ajpureair.com. That's ajpureair.com. 3 words says it all. Wow and totally silent.
JG Traveler, bringing you the unique blend of music, sci-fi, and vlogging, entertaining over 500,000 people and continuing worldwide. Let's go traveling across the world with JG Traveler. Find him on YouTube, JG Traveler. It's youtube.com/JG Traveler. Oh yeah. If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day? Sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily. This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
Need to get your vehicle towed? Let me tell you how. Hi, this is Pam Oakes, ASC certified auto tech and shop owner, here to tell you that the only person that's qualified to pop the hood on your car or truck is your reliable ASC certified technician. No one likes to be stranded on the side of the roadway, but by listening to the repair advice of a non-qualified Good Samaritan or tow truck driver can make an inconvenient problem into a catastrophic situation. The only individual to properly diagnose and repair your vehicle is someone who's been properly trained and has a toolbox in an ASC Blue Seal shop or dealership. Remember, the only cheap repair is the proper repair the first time. This has been your Car Care for the Clueless Minute for today. Let me teach you how not to fix your vehicle in the driveway, but how to have your car or truck properly repaired by an ASE certified technician, like myself, Pam Oakes. It's all about making you a savvy car consumer.
Back to the Jiggy Jaguar Show on the network.
Welcome back to the world-famous big broadcast, coast to coast and border to border, all over the World Wide Web and on the Starcom radio network. 20-plus AM, FM stations worldwide, and tons and tons of stuff going on today. Gary Bronga joins us, Small Business Friday, and Gary, lots of stuff going on in the small business world. What do you make of the fact that, first of all, before we get into the topic here, small businesses, everybody and their brother is starting a small business anymore. Are you to blame for that, or what's going on there?
Well, small business will probably save us, but like you say, many people are going into business now, primarily because there's more and more information, more help out there than ever before.
Is that pretty much it? People are just doing it because there's a lot of info, or?
Well, I think they've always had the interest in doing it, but it was very difficult to find out how, or people got puzzled. Now that there's more help, I think some of them are taking that step.
We've got Gary Bronga with us today, Small Business Friday, live as live can get, 46 minutes after the hour. What are some simple marketing processes most individuals overlook when it comes to small business?
Well, I'll tell you what, usually people are new in business. However, I've seen it in people that have been in business for quite some time. One of the simplest things is a signature for your email, and an email that is from your business or at least professional with your name. Some people will have this wild email that they use for their family or Facebook or something, but it doesn't look very professional. And also, like I say, the signature. They ought to have links to their website and beneath their name. And many people don't do that, and that's free, and it leads to many leads.
Gary Bronga with us today, Small Business Friday, each and every Friday here on the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Show. We've talked a little bit in the past. I know that there's a lot of people doing it nowadays, and that's branding themselves. How does someone brand themselves as an expert in their field, and how does it benefit them?
Well, you need to be an expert in your field if you're in business or even going to start a business. You have to know about just about every facet of a business. I know more about printing brochures than I ever cared to, but you have to learn that. And in your particular industry, you must read everything you can get your hands on. You must subscribe to all the blogs that you can. You just have to become an expert in whatever industry you choose.
We've got Gary Bronga with us today, Small Business Friday, each and every Friday here on the big broadcast at 48 minutes after the hour. Now, the branding, how exactly does somebody do this? What's the process behind this?
Well, like I say, education, I point that out in my book, Bringing a Product to Market from Your Home. An education is just paramount, and also so few people do read books and things of that nature that if you read 10 or 20 books on a subject, you're just about considered an expert this day and age. It's amazing how many people haven't read a book since they got out of school, but it's incredible. You first the education, and then through your business, you conduct, you talk wherever possible. You join Chamber of Commerce. You get out. You associate yourself with charities, and through that becomes credibility. And if you're inclined, writing a book such as I did is a real benefit as well. It gives you a forum to stand on.
Gary Bronga with us today. Can you market? Do you have to have the book to market yourself, or?
Not necessarily, but I do recommend literature is a great product. People that are in business providing a product or a service one of the best ways to brand yourself is to write ebooks. They don't have to be very long. You can sell them on Amazon. It's a relatively simple process, and that adds credibility, plus informs your consumers.
It's going to be an amazing way to get your business started, and that's Gary Bronga with us today. He's got Small Business Friday with us. When you started out and you put the Clippies together, what did you think that was gonna, as far as going forward? What were some of the aspirations that you had for the company?
Well, actually, I just thought it was going to be some extra money, which I recommend everyone have a business on the side, regardless of what their occupation is. No one's safe today in our economy. And I thought it'd be some extra money. I thought it was a clever idea, and it would. Little did I know that it'd be almost 19 years later, and we'd sell $3 million. I never dreamed that.
That is absolutely amazing. Now, when you started hitting the high on all this, what was some of the thoughts that were going through your mind?
Well, it just fed on itself. Public relations or PR or press releases was a big important part of that, and that's a good way to brand yourself as well. And but I did trade shows, and it just went on and on. Our Clippies was on the #1 TV show at that time, ER. That was quite a thrill to see the product I invented on a sheet of paper one day, and started with $500 on the #1 TV show in the world at that time.
Gary Bronga with us today, Small Business Friday at 51 minutes after the hour. A couple things I want to run over here with Gary before we let him go this week. How do appearances at trade shows, conferences, and other public events help? I know that you're a big proponent of this.
Yes, trade shows are very important. Trade shows, you're actually talking face-to-face or over a counter to a person that could be the CEO, vice president, president of a company that during the normal course of a day would probably never even take your call. You'd never get through to them, and there they are with business on their mind. Gives you a chance to explain and demonstrate your product straight to the decision maker. That's very hard to duplicate. That's probably one of the best things you could ever have, is undivided attention of a buyer right in front of you. And you never know, some of the biggest buyers in the country can come by your booth.
Gary Bronga with us today, Small Business Friday, each and every Friday here on the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar show. And what's been some of your experiences at trade shows and things?
Well, I've had some wonderful ones, and I've had some not-so-wonderful ones. But one thing I do want to say is I believe in testing your product, and one of the best ways to test a product is go to the proper trade show. Ask your buyers in that industry which shows they go to, etc., and do your research online. Find some of the biggest shows. If you go there and you don't sell products, then you probably know you should either get another idea or back off and come to a different approach to it. But I've had all kinds of them. I remember one time I was in a trade show in Chicago, and it was so huge. It was both sides of the McCormick, a huge show, and all my stuff got delayed, and I'm standing in a booth with my briefcase. That's it.
Wow.
And, I'm standing there with my briefcase with a few samples that I brought on that happened to be in my briefcase on the airplane, and I'm standing there, no boxes, no display, and people felt sorry for me, and I still sold. I talked to everybody that came by, and I covered the cost of the show just by talking to people. I guess they felt sorry for me.
That's good stuff. We've got Gary Bronga with us today here on the program, Small Business Friday. Trade shows. How does someone get into a trade show? How do they get their products and everything into a trade show?
Well, you do your research to see in your particular industry. That goes back to our previous conversation about educating yourself. And a lot of those magazines and online blogs and stuff actually sponsor trade shows. So you should recognize those, or you should ask your buyers of anybody that's purchased your product that fits your profile, of your customer profile, where they go. And that's your target. You want to go there. Sometimes trade shows can be expensive. One little tip I have is look at the website for the trade show and look at the past exhibitors and see if there's anybody from your hometown. See if you might be able to piggyback. I did. I was given about 3 feet of space free the very first show I ever went to, and I turned right around and signed up 57 stores. Each person at that show owned a store. In those days, a store did about $1,000 a year, so that was $57,000 on 3 feet of free space.
Wow. That's a hell of a deal. Now, Gary, before we let you go, what are some other things you're working on that people need to be aware of?
Well, I'm speaking in many places. I'm speaking at Florida State University next week, and I love to talk to universities. It's amazing how many colleges and universities across the country have started entrepreneur programs, and that's wonderful. And going back to one of our talking points earlier, you have more information than ever. So if you've ever thought about starting a business and you've been serious about starting a business and you don't make a move now, you may never, and you're going to kick yourself for many years because the help is there.
Now, is there a lot of people that they basically just don't seek out the help? Is that what's going on, or? Well,
it's they get confused. They're just not sure. They haven't educated themselves in the fact that how to get something going. They think it's more difficult than it actually is. I'm not going to say that it isn't a lot of work, because it is, but most of those people work hard at their day jobs anyway, and somebody else benefits. Some stockholder or manager or somebody gets a bonus and on their hard work. If you're going to work hard, you might as well work hard for yourself and reap the benefits.
Good stuff. Well, Gary, thanks for being with us, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks for being on, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely. We'll talk soon, Gary. Gary Bronga with us today. Top of the hour time, 56 minutes after the hour. When we come back, we've got more. So keep it locked, keep it loaded to the world famous Jiggy Jaguar. Wow. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12 weeks.com.
Hey, Monica, that's quite a nice car you've got there, but how do you afford a Porsche on your salary?
I have my secrets, Tom.
Come on, Monica, help me.
Here's my secret. Forex scalping.
Forex? I've heard of that. It's some sort of investment. But wait, when did you have time to learn how to do that?
By going to fxaddicts.com and taking their live online course.
And how long did that take? A year?
5 days.
Only 5 days?
Yes. And I received a free copy of Forex Secrets, Successful Scalping Strategies from the Dark Side.
I bet it was expensive.
Nope, only $147.
So only 5 days and $147? Where do I sign up?
At fxaddicts.com. And if you tell them I told you about it, you can get 10% off the course and get the book.
What a sweet deal.
Yes, Tom, it is a sweet deal. That's fxaddicts.com or call us direct at 646-396-8108.
Do you have a breathing problem or know someone who does? Jason here for AJ Pure Air. I want to recommend an air purifier that will change people's lives today. The new Silent Night air purifier blows the competition away with a new filtering technology known as ZEPA. That's with a Z for Zero Emissions Particle Arrestor. Get this, it is totally silent because there is no fan. Silent Night puts out 100 cubic feet of near perfect air per minute, continually capturing thousands of allergens, dust mites, mold spores, and germs. This ZEPA concept machine is more effective, totally silent, uses 1/10 of the energy, and it is 40% less expensive. Check out the Silent Night at ajpureair.com. That's ajpureair.com. 3 words says it all. Wow and totally silent.
JG Traveler, bringing you the unique blend of music, sci-fi, and vlogging, entertaining over 500,000 people and continuing worldwide. Let's go traveling across the world with JG Traveler. Find him on YouTube, JG Traveler. It's youtube.com/JG Traveler. Oh yeah.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily? This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
Out Loud Minute. The Out Loud Minute.
President Obama apologizes to Americans on the fact that millions are losing their health insurance and paying crazy premiums in the process. This is Malcolm Out Loud. The speech: my fellow Americans, I sincerely apologize that I have lied to you. I inadvertently stated if you like your health care plan, you can keep your plan. Truth is, you can't. I also stated if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Well, you can't keep your doctor either. I also misspoke when I said that you would save money and that you would have many choices. Again, I apologize. These policies will cost you 2, 3, even 4 times more. The Obamacare website, I cannot apologize for, however. This was the brilliant concept of Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. I do not believe her intentions were to mislead you. Quite the contrary. Her intentions were to soften the sticker shock of these new policies, a noble cause for which I salute her. And the drama continues. And I'll see you back at malcolmoutloud.tv.
Jiggy Jaguar, the 2008 Community Access Television Rookie of the Year, and the Jiggy Jaguar Radio Show on the network and jiggyjaguar.com.
Back here on the big broadcast, got a tremendous guest with us today. Ways to expedite immigration status is the topic, and the guest today is Jane Jones. She is an amazing individual. She is one of the co-authors, along with Alicia Long, former Capitol Hill staffers and authors of the next Deborah Wells Prada book. It's called Capitol Hill. And today we've got her on today to talk about the ways to expedite the immigration status. Give me your thoughts on this. Former U.S. Senate staffers talk about what goes on behind the scenes. The Senate office walls, from pasted on passport pictures to listing depression as the medical disability to expedite immigration process. This is an amazing book. How does this work with the immigration debate that we're having in Washington?
Yeah, it is the current debate of the day. I mean, I just heard that the senators actually, the group of 8, introduced a piece of legislation last night at 2:30 in the morning that's over 450 pages, full of new procedures. But something was needed to be done. I'm not quite sure amnesty is the right answer. I like to see in the bill that's going to be proposed is that all the back taxes have to be paid, and they're going to have to wait a 10-year period before they get that road to amnesty. But here's the deal: when Alicia and I both worked in the U.S. Senate, we had constituent stories of the illegal trying to figure out how to get their family members here. We had situations where they were coming into us in the Senate office with a patient on passport picture, and they expected you to think that was actually legit.
It's an amazing situation. Talk to us a little bit more about this, how your book, Capitol Hell, relates to the immigration debate that's going on in Washington right now.
A little coincidence. We actually talk in the book. We give a couple examples in the book of real life situations that happened to us. We're doing immigration work where we had, get this. So in order to become a U.S. citizen, it's a 7-year process. You can be a refugee on Social Security disability for 5 years. And we talk about the situation in the book where we had folks that would come to us and they'd say that they had a disability. You'd ask what their disability was. They tell you depression because they miss their family back home. So they're trying to get their U.S. citizenship expedited. So they didn't have to wait the 7 years. They could get back on SSDI after the 5-year period is up because you can only be in it for 5 years as a refugee. So we've also to the Senate office trying to have that situation. So we give little snippets of stories like that in the book of, here's some real life situations of what folks come and ask you to do for them, and that's one of them, along again with obviously the patient on picture on the U.S. passport. But there's nothing more timely than today talking about illegal immigration. Is that it is the legislation of the month right now in D.C.
We've got an amazing guest with us today. We've got Alicia Long and Jane Jones, former Capitol Hill staffers and authors of the next Deborah Wells Prada book. It's called Capitol Hill. Talking about ways to expedite the immigration status. Talk to me a little bit about needing a visitor visa. Is this the role of our U.S. Senate staffers?
Yeah, that is an interesting thing. So in order for certain country folks and certain residents of certain countries to come to the U.S., they need a visitor visa into the country. In order to get a U.S. visitor visa, you just do what's called requirements of the Law 314B. Those requirements basically tell you have ties back to your home country. So if you can't meet those ties, you have a family member that wants to come visit, they don't meet those ties, then you go to the U.S. Senate office, and the senator staffers like yourselves write up a letter saying, you know what, we actually think that probably the ambassador and the embassy staff, that they should be granting those visas because, we got to put 314B aside and help out your constituent.
We've got an amazing guest with us today here on the line. Jane Jones joins us. She is, along with Alicia Long, the former Capitol Hill staffers and authors of the next Deborah Wears Prada book. It's called Capitol Hill. Should graduating high school seniors who are illegally present in the U.S. get the quote-unquote DREAM Act exclusion for immigration status and be granted citizenship?
Oh, gosh, this is a tough situation. This is a situation that's actually put into the piece of legislation yesterday, the 450 pages they introduced at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's still called the DREAM Act inside that bill, and what it basically says is that if you're a graduating senior from high school, you have a certain GPA, or you're going to go on to college or go on to serve in the military, then you have a free road to citizenship on amnesty. Instead of waiting the 10 years like your parents are going to have to wait, now you have to wait 5 years if this piece of legislation gets passed. Man, I'll tell you, we had situations where we had kids that, graduating from high school, straight A's, top of the line in every activity. They would come in and say, without this right now, they can't go to college. They're going to end up in the jail yard or, in our prison system and or the graveyard because there's no avenue for them to, after life out of high school, there's nothing for them to do for further opportunities because you need a Social Security number. And here's the tricky part about this is that those kids, when they came over and they crossed the border, they were probably under the age of 5. They didn't intentionally do anything. The mom and dad chose to break the laws, not those kids. So it's kind of that's an interesting twist in the whole immigration debate.
We've got an amazing guest with us today here on the line. Jane Jones joins us. Her, along with Alicia Long, former Capitol Hill staffers and authors of the next Deborah Wears Prada book. It's called Capitol Hill. Here today to talk about ways to expedite the immigration process. What is going to happen to immigrants once this bill is released?
Yeah, first of all, any Tom, Dick, or Harry can introduce a piece of legislation. You know that. The trick of the piece of legislation is actually getting it passed. So right now we got a 450-page bill that was just introduced at the lovely drop in the morning at 2 a.m. That's an interesting thing of time to drop legislation. So they introduced this piece of legislation. I'm sure it's going to get nicked and sandied all around, and The Judiciary Committee and the Senate's going to knock it around and change it a little bit. But basically what the bill right now is saying, which isn't going to change, but right now it's saying that, you know what, if you've been here before, I think it's December 31st, 2011, you're legally present in the U.S., if you pay a $1,000 fine, you pay your back taxes, which I'm not quite sure how they're going to measure that because there's no record of their employment. You pay your back taxes, you wait 10 years, you keep your nose clean, you have a federal record, we'll grant you a green card, which will then lead to, you know, American citizenship. So it's definitely a road to amnesty.
Well, I'll tell you, it's an amazing topic today. We've got ways to expedite the immigration process as our topic. And Jane Jones and Alicia Long, co-authors of Capitol Hill, began their political careers working for former Senator Norm Coleman out of Minnesota as staffers in both his St. Paul, Minnesota and Washington, D.C. offices. Fast friends, the two stuck together through thick and thin, and recently joining forces to write a novel about the life as a Capitol Hill staffer. It's called Capitol Hill. And the great book is available on Amazon, and I appreciate you making time for us today. This was definitely a great conversation that we all need to talk about with the immigration process.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? The best voter is the educated voter. So learn what they're trying to do right now on the Hill and get yourself involved and watch, because this is stuff that's happening to your country. Thanks so much for the call today. Really appreciate it.
Definitely. Have yourself a wonderful day. We'll talk soon, my friend.
You too. Thanks much. Bye-bye.
Thank you much. We've got more when we get back here on the big broadcast. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12 weeks.com.
Hey, Monica, that's quite a nice car you've got there, but how do you afford a Porsche on your salary?
I have my secrets, Tom.
Come on, Monica, help me.
Here's my secret. Forex scalping.
Forex? I've heard of that. It's some sort of investment. But wait, when did you have time to learn how to do that?
By going to fxaddicts.com and taking their live online course.
And how long did that take? A year?
5 days.
Only 5 days?
Yes. And I received a free copy of Forex Secrets, Successful Scalping Strategies from the Dark Side.
I bet it was expensive.
Nope, only $147.
So only 5 days and $147? Where do I sign up?
At fxaddicts.com. And if you tell them I told you about it, you can get 10% off the course and get the book.
What a sweet deal.
Yes, Tom, it is a sweet deal. That's fxaddicts.com or call us direct at 646-396-8108.
Do you have a breathing problem or know someone who does? Jason here for AJ Pure Air. I want to recommend an air purifier that will change people's lives today. The new Silent Night air purifier blows the competition away with a new filtering technology known as ZEPA. That's with a Z for Zero Emissions Particle Arrestor. Get this, it is totally silent because there is no fan. Silent Night puts out 100 cubic feet of near perfect air per minute, continually capturing thousands of allergens, dust mites, mold spores, and germs. This ZEPA concept machine is more effective, totally silent, uses 1/10 of the energy, and it is 40% less expensive. Check out the Silent Night at ajpureair.com. That's ajpureair.com. 3 words says it all. Wow and totally silent.
JG Traveler, bringing you the unique blend of music, sci-fi, and vlogging, entertaining over 500,000 people and continuing worldwide. Let's go traveling across the world with JG Traveler. Find him on YouTube, JG Traveler. It's youtube.com/JG Traveler. Oh yeah.
People People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily? This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
This is Chris Markowski, your watchdog on Wall Street, and this is your watchdog on Wall Street Money Minute. Holy shnikes, that thing went through the roof. Twitter up, what, closed up 70, almost 73% on the day? Well, our trading philosophy was right. If you got the IPO price, well, then you know what? Sell it. Sell it. It traded as high as $50 a share before settling at, what, around $44.90 a share. I think this bad boy is going to have to settle down a little bit here. The market capitalization on this thing is patently absurd. Absurd. And eventually stocks trade for what they're worth. There's an intrinsic value to everything. Sometimes they trade above, sometimes they trade below. When they trade below, that's when you want to buy. But eventually they'll trade at what they're worth. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Watchdog on wallstreet.com.
Back to the Jiggy Jaguar Show on the network.
Back here in the big broadcast. Wow. I was just handed a song that we're going to play here in a few moments. J.G. Traveler. That's right. J.G. Traveler. The album is called World Scene. The song we're going to play is Just to Get In. Amazing, amazing track. Just to get in, coming here on a big broadcast. If you want to find this guy on Facebook, it's facebook.com/JGTraveler. Wow. This guy's amazing. 2,000 likes on Facebook. And he's got a Kickstarter campaign started. Amazing guy. We're going to play that music right now here. Well, right now, here on the big broadcast. It's J.G. Traveler.
Just to get in, you have to give me your best. Just to get in, the right place in your face. Just to get in, tell me what you have in stone. Just to get get in. Just to get in the right place in your face. Just to get in, you have to give me your best or sink like the rest. The right place in your face. Just to get in. Show me so you can get in. You have to give me your best just to get in the right place in your face. Just to get in. Do you got it now? Come on. Show me. Show me. Show me. Show me. So you can get in the right place in your face. Just to get in. You have to give me your best or sink like the rest. The right place in your face. Just to get in. But not as much as the other guy. And you get in. Pick yourself up and try again just to get in.
If you want to purchase that song, it's available on SoundClick. We have posted a link to it on our Facebook page, so go check that out. It's JG Trebla, just to get in. It's 99 cents for the single, $12 for the album. It's an incredible, incredible piece of business. JG the Traveler. We've got more when we get back. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K. The number 12 weeks.com.
Hey, Monica, that's quite a nice car you've got there, but how do you afford a Porsche on your salary?
I have my secrets, Tom.
Come on, Monica, help me.
Here's my secret. Forex scalping.
Forex? I've heard of that. It's some sort of investment. But wait, when did you have time to learn how to do that?
By going to fxaddicts.com and taking their live online course.
And how long did that take? A year?
5 days.
Only 5 days?
Yes. And I received a free copy of Forex Secrets, Successful Scalping Strategies from the Dark Side.
I bet it was expensive.
Nope, only $147.
So only 5 days and $147? Where do I sign up?
At fxaddicts.com. And if you tell them I told you about it, you can get 10% off the course and get the book.
What a sweet deal.
Yes, Tom, it is a sweet deal. That's fxaddicts.com or call us direct at 646-396-8108.
Do you have a breathing problem or know someone who does? Jason here for AJ Pure Air. I want to recommend an air purifier that will change people's lives today. The new Silent Night air purifier blows the competition away with a new filtering technology known as ZEPA. That's with a Z for Zero Emissions Particle Arrestor. Get this, it is totally silent because there is no fan. Silent Night puts out 100 cubic feet of near perfect air per minute, continually capturing thousands of allergens, dust mites, mold spores, and germs. This ZEPA concept machine is more effective Totally Silent uses 1/10 of the energy, and it is 40% less expensive. Check out the Silent Night at ajpureair.com. That's ajpureair.com. 3 words says it all. Wow and Totally Silent.
JG Traveler, bringing you the unique blend of music, sci-fi, and vlogging, entertaining over 500,000 people and continuing worldwide. Let's go traveling across the world with JG Traveler. Find him on YouTube, JG Traveler. It's youtube.com/JG Traveler. Oh yeah.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily? This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
It's a Minute Report for America. Doesn't America care any more about its children? My son recently called to tell me about a recent accomplishment he achieved on his job. He's a great guy and he works hard. When he was a youngster, I did everything possible to point him in the right direction and give him the tools he needed to support himself and contribute to his community. But preventing a spending-mad government from passing on to him, and eventually his children, a vast debt is something neither I nor tens of millions of other worried parents have been able to do, and that bothers us all a great deal. Politicians love to make promises that other people have to pay for. Washington does this all the time, passing programs that the states, through the process of unfunded mandates, must find a way to finance. This year, the White House's giveaway programs will add another $800 billion to our huge debt. What makes this even more frustrating is that we have nothing to show for all that spending. Our armed forces continue to diminish, our bridges are collapsing, our economy lagging. The only asset, using the term sarcastically, from those wasted dollars is that Beltway politicians get reelected by making promises they can't afford to pay for. I'm Frank for News Show. Read more at usagovpolicy.com.
Back to the Jiggy Jaguar Show on the network.
Coast to coast and border to border, all over the World Wide Web and on the Starcom Radio Network, 20 AM FM stations worldwide. From the Transmedia Worldwide Studios in the great Salt City of Hutchinson, Kansas, we are live Monday through Friday, 2 to 5 Central, 3 to 6 Eastern, and 12 to 3 Pacific. We're 24/7 at JiggyJaguar.com. We've got a amazing guest with us today. He is going to be part of a gigantic show at the McPherson Opera House here fairly soon. In fact, this weekend. And Joseph Hall's with us. He's on the telephone, joining us from his home base out there. Are you in Branson? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, I'm in Branson, Missouri.
That's amazing stuff. I'll tell you, Branson is a. We're hearing a lot more people come out of Branson that have a lot of ability to perform, and you're out there with some legendary entertainers. Let's talk a little bit about the show coming up, man. This is going to be quite the amazing show. It's scheduled to take place in McPherson, Kansas here fairly quick. In fact, this weekend. Tell me about the show itself, man.
Oh man, it's going to be a fantastic show. It's called the Elvis Rock and Remember Show, and we do 3 decades of Elvis music. We go from the 50s to the 60s and 70s. We have multiple costume changes, and we're going to even be throwing some Christmas songs. So I mean, it's going to be a fantastic show. If you're a huge Elvis fan, this is the ultimate Elvis show for you to come see.
It is going to be Saturday, November 9th, McPherson Opera House, McPherson, Kansas. Joseph Hall rocks Elvis, and I've seen a ton of different video online of your Elvis performance. This is really cool. You pull it off, man. How long of a fan, and when did you first get the niche and think about Elvis, man? Because Elvis is a legendary entertainer, man.
I know it. There's no other entertainer like Elvis Presley. And I got into Elvis. I grew up with listening to Elvis around the house.
Yeah.
And it was a Halloween party I went to. I was 22 years old, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go as the king of rock and roll. So I went there, and there was a lady there who saw me, and she was a huge Elvis fan, and she said, boy, if you can learn some songs and learn some moves, she said, you might have something there. So I did a little. I hit the books, started studying Elvis, and one thing just sort of led to another, and I was just having so much fun that it sort of snowballed for me, and I haven't stopped since.
It is the great Joseph Hall with us today. He's going to be rocking Elvis Presley down there at the McPherson Opera House on Saturday, November 9th. It is going to be a tremendous stage show. It's a chance to rock and remember with Elvis Presley, and Joseph Hall, BransonElvis.com is the official website. And Joseph, tell me about the Elvis experience, what that's been like for you, because Elvis is such a legendary entertainer.
Yeah, the ever since I got into the Elvis business, it's allowed me to travel across the country. It's allowed me to travel into Europe, and I've come in contact with so many people, and I've heard so many great stories. It's just Elvis Presley is just timeless, and that's the great thing about our show, that it attracts all sorts of different audiences of all sorts of different ages. From the very young and to the elderly, and it's a wonderful entertainment. It's great music, and we're gonna have a rocking good time.
It is a tremendous show. It's going to be taking place this weekend at the McPherson Opera House. Joseph Hall, Elvis Rock and Remember Tribute. Now, you were born in Abilene, Texas. How the hell did you end up in Branson?
Well, I was born in Texas. I went to school in Houston, and my family and we owned a restaurant, and that's what moved us to Nebraska. And that's where we had our Halloween costume party. And then from Nebraska, I went on America's Got Talent in 2008, and I placed in the top 10. And really, that's what got me out. It was the national exposure, and it brought me to Branson, Missouri. And I've been here for 4 seasons now, and we're getting ready to start our 5th season. And it's been wonderful. Such a blessing,
Now, going around the country doing the Elvis thing, Have you bumped into fellow fellow Elvises? I guess is fellow Elvi. I guess is what you would say.
I tell you what, they're everywhere, man. You know, there's so many fans and so many great tributes out there. I mean, I tell you what, it's amazing to think that Elvis has been gone for over 35 plus years, and he still has the fan base that he has today.
Still making all that money. Still making it happen. Now, you placed in the top 10 of the first ever Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist Contest.
Yes, sir.
Sir, who walked in behind me? As far as the show goes, what do you think made you stand out from all the other Elvises in that competition?
You know, I really don't know. I go out there to have a good time. And, you know, somebody once told me that when I got into the business, they said, you know, Joseph, if you're going to be in this Elvis business, you got to remember one thing. And I said, what is that? He said, never forget who you are. He says, because there's only one Elvis Presley, and the audience knows that. So when you go out there to entertain them and do the best tribute that you can to Elvis. And so I live by those words. And, you know, I try to do my tribute to Elvis with the utmost respect. You know, not just to his legacy and not just his image or his name, but most important to his fans, because it's his fans that are supporting us doing what it is that we do. And so I'm thankful for the life that I have because of the music that Elvis has inspired in all of us. And I just can't wait to share that with the wonderful people of McPherson.
It is going to be a tremendous show. If you want to get more information, it's McPhersonOperaHouse.ticketforce.com, and you can pick up your tickets for this amazing, amazing show. Joseph Hall is going to be rocking Elvis. What is your favorite Elvis, I guess, era?
My favorite Elvis era is the Vegas era. I love Elvis in the jumpsuit. I mean, I think that's when he came out in his prime, man. He was just so awesome. He was untouchable. He was Las Vegas. You know, people were coming from all over the world to see him. He was doing 3 shows a day. I mean, just selling out 2,300-seat auditoriums every single day at the Hilton. And, I mean, he was just in his prime right then. The chops were huge. The hair was long, and he was lean in the jumpsuit. And to me, that's my favorite. And all my favorite songs came in that era, Suspicious Minds and In the Ghetto, and I mean, those are just great songs, great era for me.
Good stuff, man. Well, I'm looking forward to chatting with you this weekend for the TV show, and thanks for being on radio with us this week. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Definitely, man. Well, we'll talk soon. Have yourself a wonderful day.
You got it, bro. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. This is going to be a big show. You got to get your tickets. McPherson Opera House is going to be on fire for this big one. We're going to take a quick time out here. When we get back, we've got more. So keep it locked, keep it loaded to the world famous Jiggy Jaguar show. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12 weeks.com.
Hey, Monica, that's quite a nice car you've got there, but how do you afford a Porsche on your salary?
I have my secrets, Tom.
Come on, Monica, help me.
Here's my secret. Forex scalping.
Forex? I've heard of that. It's some sort of investment. But wait, when did you have time to learn how to do that?
By going to fxaddicts.com and taking their live online course.
And how long did that take? A year?
5 days.
Only 5 days?
Yes. And I received a free copy of Forex Secrets, Successful Scalping Strategies from the Dark Side.
I bet it was expensive.
Nope, only $147.
So only 5 days and $147? Where do I sign up?
At fxaddicts.com. And if you tell them I told you about it, you can get 10% off the course and get the book.
What a sweet deal.
Yes, Tom, it is a sweet deal. That's fxaddicts.com or call us direct at 646-396-8108.
Do you have a breathing problem or know someone who does? Jason here for AJ Pure Air. I want to recommend an air purifier that will change people's lives today. The new Silent Night air purifier blows the competition away with a new filtering technology known as ZEPA. That's with a Z for Zero Emissions Particle Arrestor. Get this, it is totally silent because there is no fan. Silent Night puts out 100 cubic feet of near perfect air per minute, continually capturing thousands of allergens, dust mites, mold spores, and germs. This ZEPA concept machine is more effective, totally silent, uses 1/10 of the energy, and it is 40% less expensive. Check out the Silent Night at ajpureair.com. That's ajpureair.com. 3 words says it all. Wow and totally silent.
JG Traveler, bringing you the unique blend of music, sci-fi, and vlogging, entertaining over 500,000 people and continuing worldwide. Let's go traveling across the world with JG Traveler. Find him on YouTube, JG Traveler. It's youtube.com/JG Traveler. Oh yeah.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily? This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
This is Chris Markowski, your watchdog on Wall Street, and this is your watchdog on Wall Street Money Minute. Federal Reserve Bank of New York President William Dudley said yesterday that any effort to reduce the threat to financial stability posed by massive financial firms also must include compelling banking executives to have more respect for the law and the broader impact on society of their actions. How the hell do you do that, man? How do you get bad guys, how do you get leopards to change their spots? I find this amazing to me. He writes, there is evidence of deep-seated cultural and ethical failures at many large financial institutions. Thank you, William Dudley. Congratulations. You too can come down and claim your Master of the Obvious prize. Give me a break. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com.
24/7, 365, and available worldwide on the internet. This is the #1 talk show online, the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Show.
Thanks for tuning in to the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Show at 44 minutes after the hour. From the Transmedia Worldwide Studios in the great salt city of Hutchinson, Kansas, we are live Monday through Friday, 2 to 5 Central, 3 to 6 Eastern, and 12 to 3 Pacific. 24/7 at JiggyJaguar.com on the TuneIn apps and Radio Loyalty. Our podcast is available at JiggyJaguar.com, and our telephone number is 267-225-4449. Jiggy Jaguar Radio Show is brought to you by our good friends over there at Jordan's Juice Barbecue Sauce. Juice it up with Jordan's. Find them online at jordansjuice.com. Stuart Benner is with us today. He, of course, joins us each and every Friday to discuss the housing market and the home mortgage market, and that there's been a lot of different things going on in that area this week. That's brand new stuff. Stuart, can you bring us up to speed on what's going on out there?
James, there's a few good things going on right now. The 95% loan is back in operation. You can get a loan with 5% down now again through all the major lenders. Fannie and Freddie are underwriting it, so that's a good thing. It's going to help the first-time buyer and people that need to get back into the housing market, get their house again.
Now tell us a little bit about this and why this is so important to everybody.
You know, so many people have just recovered, and they're recovering from a pretty bad few years. And they've lost their home, and they've established their credits, and the time has passed where now they can get back into the market, but they're lacking the cash. You know, cash is king, and they haven't had it. So today they can come in with 5% down on a conventional loan, and even on an FHA loan they can come in with 3.5% down, and wonderful thing. It does require mortgage insurance, but the sellers can pay that. They can pay the non-recurring cost, so they can pay that initial premium. That's allowed. So you can get in pretty reasonably and get back into your own home and stop being a renter.
Now, a lot of people are renting, and they have been renting. Why is this? Why is this something that's been happening fairly recently?
Well, many people that have been homeowners have really been turned into enforced renters. And, you know, I don't think... There's certain people that just really want to be renters their whole life. My father was that way. But, you know, I think people really want to have home ownership. And if once they've had it and they've tasted it and they've lost it through a lot of things, not their own fault, really, much of it, so they want that chance again. And, you know, we need renters. Of course we need renters, but we need homeowners. That's what builds a stable society.
Yeah. Stuart Wiener with us today here on the broadcast. He joins us each and every week, talk about the housing market and home mortgages. USA Today recently put out a story about the hot housing markets that are cooling down. The national housing market is by most measures recovering at a healthy clip. Home-in prices in some of the hardest-hit markets, places like Reno, Nevada, Phoenix, Arizona, were up by more than 30% in the third quarter of this year compared to the same period last year. But while many cities have seen housing market activity heat up, others that were recently among the hottest in the nation are cooling off. Why is it that in Reno and Phoenix everything is up more than 30%?
Well, because they were down so ridiculously low. Las Vegas, too. I mean, property was... down to nothing. They were down to 1980s and 90s levels. But, you know, the vultures came in first, the hedge funds, and they grabbed up everything they could, which kind of shut out the home and the home buyer, you know, the individual person.
Yeah.
But now they've come up enough where there's still good prices, but not enough for the hedge fund to come in and try to make a score and triple their money. So that's why it's cooled off a little bit. You don't have that competition coming from these large investment firms. But there's still very good prices and good values. But when things dropped 70, 80% in value, they could go nowhere else but up.
We've got Stuart Wiener with us today, and continuing here with this story, many markets were among the hardest hit by the housing crisis cities like Lakeland, Florida, Reno, Nevada, Bakersfield, California. Why were Bakersfield and Lakeland such hard hit?
Well, Bakersfield, let me start there for an example. A lot of people bought there, and San Bernardino County the same way, which I think is in bankruptcy, Victorville, Apple Valley. These are places that are an hour to 2 hours of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And so many people couldn't afford a home in Los Angeles. They just couldn't come in with $700,000-$800,000 for a house. So they went into these suburbs, if you want to call it a suburb. It's a 2-hour drive. And they bought a home for $400,000, which they could just barely afford, but they got a nice house. But then when things went to heck, they just dropped to nothing. And they still had that 2-hour drive, and so many of these people lost their property. So that's cooled off a lot, and it's going to take a while before it gets better. And Lakeland is the same way. It's a good ride from Tampa.
Now, the housing market down in Florida is, as we've been talking here, has been hard hit, but it's coming back.
Yes,
what do you attribute to that?
Well, I mean, people still want to move to the Sun Belt. They want to move to good areas. The climate is good here. I live in Florida myself, and it got hit so badly hard, but it will come back, and good areas will come back. Certain areas I don't think will ever come back. I don't think we'll ever see anything in Gary, Indiana. It's a pretty song.
That's crazy.
Nice areas where the weather's good and people want to live and they desire. There's beaches here. I mean, there's a lot in Florida people want. And a lot of old people moving here. There's always been a lot of old people.
Now, there are some housing markets that are cooling down. Ventura, California, the median income there, $500,000, which is the 5th highest. Among also in this list, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and why is it Minneapolis, St. Paul? Is it just because of the coldness, or?
Well, it's not a desirable place particularly to live in. I don't think. Now, all the people from Minneapolis are going to be mad at me, but I don't like the cold myself. Ventura, California, again, that's the same thing we just spoke about. That's a suburb of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And, it's a good drive, but it's still cheaper than trying to move into the central city. But it's pretty hard to live in Los Angeles and to afford a house there.
Now, something else that happened the other day, which I don't know why this would, I guess we'll find out. That's why we've got you on today. But BizJournals.com recently published a story as of actually this morning. Twitter IPO sends the housing market into orbit. Rising sale prices and rents for housing near Twitter's mid-market headquarters are turning heads. Upper market apartment buildings recently completed or soon to be are commanding monthly rents of $5,000 or more for 3-bedroom units. What the hell is going on here? Why are these people trying to move towards Twitter?
That's a little mind-boggling. I mean, the IPO, what did it open up at 45 and then went up to 70, and you're looking at a company that's never earned a dime. So, I think the prospects, people are buying the stock. They think it's going to make a lot of money. I guess people want to move there so they can hope to get jobs. But I hope it doesn't turn into a thing like Facebook. It wasn't too good. They all want to be another Google.
That's right. Everybody wants to be Google. That's the.
But Google is a different company. They do a lot of things, not just one thing.
Now the highest and lowest priced housing markets in America. We've been talking about that today, and some of these markets. Number one on this list is Malibu, California. Is that just because of the name and everything, or what's going on here?
Well, Malibu, California. Those prices, I don't see them ever going down, ever crashing. You're looking at $15, $20 million houses. And the amazing thing about Malibu that just always blew my mind is the fact that it's sitting there right under the mountains. There's always landslides. There's always fires. And those houses are always burning down, and then they're rebuilding them and selling them for $10, $15, $20 million. a world of its own. It really is. There used to be a little joke. If you wanted to go to Malibu, you drive up the Pacific Coast Highway. When you hit Ben Vereen, you make a left turn. That's where you
That's awesome.
the street.
That's awesome.
It's a terrible joke.
I know, but it is Stuart Wiener with us today here on the broadcast, and as we wrap up here with you, my friend, the confidence in the Ohio housing market is cautiously upbeat. Why is it that that the people of Ohio, according to the industry's confidence in the Ohio housing market, it's slightly tempered but remains cautiously upbeat, according to a recent Ohio Association of Realtors Confidence Index report? And an October Ohio Realtor Conference Index said that that they've got a lot of October 2012 it was 49, October 2013 54 confidence index in the housing market. Break these numbers down for me. Why is this such a big deal to the people of Ohio?
I think a lot of this, James, you have to take a lot of this with a grain of salt. There's a lot of PR being put out by realtors. Yet I think Ohio is they've got a good governor. I think it's a better state than some of the other states, and I think they're trying to capitalize on that. But I think a lot of it is public relations. I think you got to wait and see. I've never heard a realtor say that it's not a good market.
Well, Stuart, as we wrap up here with you, my friend, what do you have coming up on the radio broadcast this week?
Well, I've got an interesting man actually coming on my show next week that is a informant and in the witness program, and I don't know his real name. He won't even tell us his real name, but we're going to find out a bunch of weird stuff about who killed who and who whacked who.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting, as long as they don't go after me.
That's right. Well, Stuart, have yourself a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you next week,
You
sir.
too, my friend.
Appreciate
Thank
it, man.
you, Dave.
Later.
Bye.
Stuart Wiener with us today. We're going to take a time out. When we come back, top of the third hour on the way. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today, 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12 weeks.com.
Hey, Monica, that's quite a nice car you've got there, but how do you afford a Porsche on your salary?
I have my secrets, Tom.
Come on, Monica, help me.
Here's my secret. Forex scalping.
Forex. I've heard of that. It's some sort of investment. But wait, when did you have time to learn how to do that?
By going to fxaddicts.com and taking their live online course.
And how long did that take? A year?
5 days.
Only 5 days?
Yes. And I received a free copy of Forex Secrets, Successful Scalping Strategies from the Dark Side.
I bet it was expensive.
Nope, only $147.
So only 5 days and $147? Where do I sign up?
At fxaddicts.com. And if you tell them I told you about it, you can get 10% off the course and get the book.
What a sweet deal.
Yes, Tom, it is a sweet deal. That's fxaddicts.com or call us direct at 646-396-8108.
Do you have a breathing problem or know someone who does? Jason here for AJ Pure Air. I want to recommend an air purifier that will change people's lives today. The new Silent Night air purifier blows the competition away with a new filtering technology known as ZEPA. That's with a Z for Zero Emissions Particle Arrestor. Get this, it is totally silent because there is no fan. Silent Night puts out 100 cubic feet of near perfect air per minute, continually capturing thousands of allergens, dust mites, mold spores, and germs. This Zeppa Concept machine is more effective, totally silent, uses 1/10 of the energy, and it is 40% less expensive. Check out the Silent Night at ajpureair.com. That's ajpureair.com. 3 words says it all. Wow and totally silent.
JG Traveler, bringing you the unique blend of music, sci-fi, and vlogging, entertaining over 500,000 people and continuing worldwide. Let's go traveling across the world with JG Traveler. Find him on YouTube, JG Traveler. It's youtube.com/JG Traveler. Oh yeah.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily? This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
This is your radio philosopher, Eric Papp, bringing you your thought of the day. Finding solutions often entails asking yourself questions. I was recently talking to a business owner yesterday, and she was telling me all about her business and how she was frustrated, overwhelmed, and overworked. And then I asked her, I said, are you asking yourself questions? Questions like, what activities are my highest priority? What can I hire someone part-time for? And how can I get caught up? Often our life is determined by the questions we ask ourselves. If you don't like your situation or circumstance, ask yourself questions. For more thoughts, you can download my app, Eric Papp. Thanks, and remember, this is your life.
Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12 weeks.com.
30. I think most people that are under 30 don't expect a right to privacy. I mean, they're the Facebook and Twitter generation. They've been giving access to their information for a long time. They've been using Google, which I use Google all the time, where Google knows more about you than even the federal government does, okay? So I'm not sure if we have not jumped the shark as far as privacy is concerned. However, when the federal government starts, through the Supreme Court or others, start to sanction this loss of privacy, then you have to worry about it. It's one thing for you and I to give up our privacy on our own and make that decision to do it through your settings on Facebook or whatever you do. It's another thing for the federal government to sanction it and say they're going to start searching your emails and start doing that kind of thing. So that's kind of where we are in a nutshell, and I think these particular cases are going to be important. Now, they're hearing these cases. They haven't ruled on a lot of them yet, and on these controversial things, you're not going to actually hear what they think about the cases until June the 30th.
We've got a tremendous guest with us today. Martha Zoller joins us here on the big broadcast to talk about the topic: government can listen in, but drug dogs can't sniff. Why are suspected criminals being given more rights than average citizens?
Yeah, it's a real problem because I think that most any reasonable person would think, okay, if you have a drug dog, in fact, the schools where my children went to school, all the schools have pulled their money together, and the school resource officers not only have guns, but they have a drug dog at their disposal that at any time could show up at the school and find out what's going on. They look at that as being an invasion of privacy, which I don't see it as that at all, but yet they think it's okay to go and, get your email. So that's a problem. So I think what's going to happen as we go forward is we're going to have about 10 years here of these going back and forth on these privacy decisions that are happening. And, it's not going to be like the civil rights era where things were going back and forth where they, you'd have some civil rights decisions made and then some rescinded, or even the era post-Reconstruction in the Civil War time where you had this really influx court. We thought we had a conservative court with the appointment of John Roberts and Sam Alito, but it turns out that Sam Alito is a conservative and John Roberts is not. And so we're going to have these kinds of unpredictable decisions. And look, I believe in the Constitution. I believe the Supreme Court is the final arbiter, and I believe that they make mistakes sometimes, and they have to be fixed. And the unfortunate thing, though, is when the Supreme Court makes a mistake, like making a decision about your privacy, then it takes usually a generation to reverse it or more. And that's what the problem is. That's why these appointments matter. It is not sexy on the campaign trail to talk about Supreme Court appointments. But the most important thing and the biggest thing that will determine a president's legacy and how long the tentacles of that presidency will last in our society is what their appointments to the court are.
We've got Martha Zoller with us today here on the big broadcast talking about the topic: government can listen in, but drug dogs can't sniff. And she's with us today from MarthaZoller.com. Why should the government have different rules than the police who are charged with protecting us?
Yeah, they shouldn't have different rules because the police are locally controlled government, basically, right? And we believe in locally controlled government closer to the people. And the federal government, these top-down edicts that everybody has to apply to, really ends up being abused. And we've seen it in a lot of other areas. And, Ben Franklin said it very early in this republic, is that if you're willing to give up your security and I'm going to add your privacy in order to be safe, you're going to lose the republic. And that's why we have to fight back on these things. Now, once these decisions finally come down one way or another, we may have more work to do. But between now and then, what we can do is make sure our legislators and our elected officials know how we feel about this, so that sometimes they can offset Supreme Court decisions with certain types of clarifying legislation. And so, those are some of the things that can happen.
We've got Martha Zoller with us today here on the big broadcast. MarthaZoller.com is her website. And Talkers Magazine, Heavy 100 talk show hosts in America, 8 of the past 10 years had Martha Zoller on that list. And congratulations on that achievement, my friend.
Well, thank you, and I wanted to tell you, too, that beginning Monday, I have a new site launching called zpolitics.com, and it's just the letter Z, politics.com, and we're going to be going live on Monday, and we're going to be talking about Georgia politics, but also about what's happening in the world, and so I'm wading into that little world there, that news aggregator world, and I am looking forward to it.
We've got Martha Zoller with us today here on the big broadcast, and what can Americans realistically now consider being private in terms of the Fourth Amendment?
You know, it's funny. Liberals will fight to the death that the right to have an abortion at any time is part of the right to privacy, which is one of those things that I have never understand, but yet they believe their privacy should be protected, but everybody else's privacy is not. My concern is that when you look at how people are defining privacy, when they are defining groups that you have to worry about, they more often go after what they call right-wing extremist groups. I have never heard them say a left-wing extremist group. We just had a situation in Columbia University where one of the former Weather Underground, convicted of killing police officers in New York, one of those folks was an adjunct professor and doing speaking engagements around the country at universities and looked at as an expert in their particular field. You know, privacy, I hate to say it, but privacy is dead in America. Privacy is something we're going to have to fight to get back. We've given up some of it on our own at Facebook and Twitter and emails and that kind of thing, but the government is taking the rest. And that's why we have to really be aware of this. And the only thing that's going to change it is for us to talk about it and to really make sure that we're knowledgeable about it. Because too many people, you know, Rush Limbaugh likes to call them the low-information voters. You know, if it's about Kim Kardashian or TMZ, which, believe me, TMZ is my guilty pleasure, all right? I do like to watch TMZ, but I know what I'm watching. I know I'm not watching the real world. I'm watching something for entertainment. We have to continue to take back our Constitution and take back our right to privacy because we're losing it every day.
We've got Martha Zoller joining us today here on the big broadcast, and marthazoller.com is her website. Talk to me a little bit about the new website that's launching very soon.
Yeah, it's called zpolitics.com. It goes live on Monday, April 8th, and it is going to be a commentary from me every day, but it's also a news aggregate of different stories that are coming up there in a kind of a Drudge Report look, but with more video and audio and also more focus on Georgia politics, which is really, while I know a lot about a lot of things, my expertise and where I make my living and my bread and butter is in Georgia. So we're going to be focusing on Georgia and be a little more serious than any of these blogs have been, but also more in-depth and more entertaining. And so I'm excited about doing that. I also want to mention a funny story because Bill Maher is going to be coming to Georgia to raise money for Georgia Democrats on Sunday, and I thought it was hysterical because just 2 weeks ago, I don't know if you followed this story, he talked about how taxes were too high in California and about how Iraq was not a bad place, that it turned out better than he thought. So here's a guy that's having second thoughts about, you know, where he stands on particular issues, but yet he's going around the country along with Organizing for Action, which is the president's campaign arm, and he is trying to raise money for Democrats around the country. We need to be aware about what we have to do in the next year and a half to be able to maintain our majority in the House in 2014, as well as pick up Senate seats and hopefully prepare to win the presidency back in 2016.
We've got a tremendous guest with us today, Martha Zoller, on the big broadcast. marthazoller.com is her website. And talk to me a little bit about you're involved in the process, essentially, of running for various offices in your area. Talk to me about the history of that.
I ran for Congress last year, and I lost in the runoff. And, you know, media people should learn a lesson that they usually don't win elections, but with the exception of Mike Pence. But what is good about this is that, you know, this is a guy that would have gone in without being opposed. And, yes, it cost me some money and some time, but I think that this guy that beat me, Representative Doug Collins, is a better candidate because he had a primary opponent. And we need to do a couple of things in elections in America. We need to figure out how to get the cost down to some degree so more people can run. But also, we cannot have all these unopposed. I know that partisans don't like opposed primaries, but the only way you're really going to debate these issues is if you have opposition in a primary, especially in a red state like Georgia or a red state like Texas. And let's go the other side, blue states like New York and Massachusetts. If they don't have primary opponents in these races, you're never going to debate issues. All you're going to do is rubber stamp people. And we have made a huge amount of progress in the last 6 years in actually turning over 60% of the House of Representatives in the last 6 years, and actually turning over about 25% of the Senate in the last 6 years. So we are making some progress. It used to be those turnover rates were 3% a year. We are making progress, and we've got to keep going. And the way we do that is by having more people run, even though it's tough, even though you're going to get called names, even though you're going to have bad pictures put on mail pieces about you, you will get out there and talk about the issues, and you'll make the debate better. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. Running, I wish I had won. I'm not going to tell you I don't wish I had won, but at the same time, I've had a lot of opportunities open up for me as a result of that.
We've got a tremendous guest with us today. Martha Zoller joins us. And Martha, thanks for doing this, my friend. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.
Definitely. Well, have yourself a wonderful day. And before we let you go, what's the website that's launching Monday so people can go check it out?
Yes, it is zpolitics.com, and that is just the letter Z, politics.com.
Cool stuff, my friend. Well, thanks for being with us, and we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it. Thank you much. Martha Zoller here on the big broadcast, and
do you have a breathing problem or know someone who does? Jason here for AJ Pure Air. I want to recommend an air purifier that will change people's lives today. The new Silent Night air purifier blows the competition away with a new filtering technology known as ZEPA. That's with a Z for Zero Emissions Particle Arrestor. Get this, it is totally silent because there is no fan. Silent Night puts out 100 cubic feet of near-perfect air per minute, continually capturing thousands of allergens, dust mites, mold spores, and germs. This ZEPA concept machine is more effective, totally silent, uses 1/10 of the energy, and it is 40% less expensive. Check out the Silent Night at ajpureair.com. That's ajpureair.com. 3 words says it all. Wow and totally silent.
JG Traveler, bringing you the unique blend of music, sci-fi, and vlogging, entertaining over 500,000 people and continuing worldwide. Let's go traveling across the world with JG Traveler. Find him on YouTube, JG Traveler. It's youtube.com/JG Traveler. Oh yeah.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
Hey Hey, Monica, that's quite a nice car you've got there, but how do you afford a Porsche on your salary?
I have my secrets, Tom.
Come on, Monica, help me.
Here's my secret. Forex scalping.
Forex. I've heard of that. It's some sort of investment. But wait, when did you have time to learn how to do that?
By going to fxaddicts.com and taking their live online course.
And how long did that take? A year?
5 days.
Only 5 days?
Yes. And I received a free copy of Forex Secrets, Successful Scalping Strategies from the Dark Side.
I bet it was expensive.
Nope, only $147.
So only 5 days and $147? Where do I sign up?
At fxaddicts.com. And if you tell them I told you about it, you can get 10% off the course and get the book.
What a sweet deal.
Yes, Tom, it is a sweet deal. That's fxaddicts.com or call us direct at 646-396-8108.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day? Sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily. This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
Welcome to the Unlock Your Wealth Update. Here's Heather Wagenhals.
Today's update is on avoiding tax scams. It's nearing the end of the year and folks are thinking about year-end contributions, budgets, capital purchases, and expenses, and so are scammers. And here's what can be easily misled. Obscure charities that pop up helping you or your business max out your charitable contributions. Tax credit swaps. Individuals who have tax credits and are willing to sell you them at a discount. Many tax credits are non-transferable, or it is a crime to transfer them, causing legal as well as tax problems and possible jail time. Energy credits are also misused, and pay attention to deadlines for energy tax credits involving large home improvement projects. You could be out the dough and the tax credit. If you know of a tax fraud, you can report it to the IRS by calling 800-829-3676. For more great resources to help you create unlimited wealth and happiness, visit our website at crackingyourmoneycode.com. I'm Heather Wagenhals. Now go out and unlock your wealth today.
Great.
Now, the Jiggy Jaguar Show on JiggyJaguar.com.
Back here on the big broadcast, we've got a very, very good guest with us today. Michael Mana joins us, and I've had Michael on the broadcast many times in the past, and he is the go-to guy on technology, and I wanted to have Michael on today to talk about Google is at a crossroads, and for the first time, the most popular search engine is at a crossroads. Who would have thought? Users prefer customized searches to general search engines like Google. Topical sites like Amazon and Yelp have given users that option, and we've got Michael with us today. He's the co-host of the T4 show, Tech Today, Tech Tomorrow. It's been on the air since 2007 with him as the co-host, and he's a reviewer and avid fan of technology, and you can get more information at t4show.com. And Michael, how are you doing on this fine afternoon?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Pretty good, actually. Now, talk to me about this. Google at the crossroads. Give me your expert opinion on this, because I know that you use computers probably more than anybody and know a heck of a lot about technology. What do you make of this recent news with Google?
Well, I think Google's still way far ahead of everybody else who's considered to be the competition. I mean, Microsoft has Bing as their search engine, and there's other companies too that are doing some data mining right now, like Facebook, that may come out with something similar to search. But let's think about this. Does anybody say these days, hey, I think I'm going to search for this on the internet, or do they say, I'll Google that? That's how you know when you're it's a household name. It's a verb now to Google. So that's the true measuring stick of how embedded they are in our culture.
We've got Michael Mana joining us today, and he is a amazing guy, reviewer and avid fan of technology. He's recently been featured on Fox and Friends First on the Fox News channel, and he has a passion for technology. T4show.com is the official website for the T4 Show. Do you think that there's going to be any chance that some of these sites will take over Google's place? Or is it just like you were saying, you're a household word, it's probably not going to happen anytime soon?
I think if one service has the chance to do it, it would be Facebook, because with over 500 million users, and let's think that people use Facebook even more than Twitter these days, and probably even more than Google in certain situations. So if they get data mined in the right way, and obviously this is about making money. That's why Google is so huge now, advertising, and because we search. But Facebook's right up there, and if they decided to go the route of search, they could give Google a run for their money.
Now, Michael, talk to me about Google and the fact that they seem to just have such a stranglehold on the internet, basically, and searching in general, and there's apps for smartphones and all sorts of different things. Is there going to be anybody that's ever going to be able to top them in any of these areas?
I think one company can do it and has the money to do it, but I'm not sure if they're even interested, and that would be Apple.
Yeah.
They tried to bring out, they tried to actually use Maps as a viable alternative to Google Maps, their iOS maps, and we saw what happened with that. And that's all about data mining. That's all about infrastructure, getting the information. Google has a multiple-year head start on everybody else as far as having our information at their fingertips to do what they want.
We've got an incredible guest with us today here on the line talking about Google at the Crossroads. Talk to me a little bit here about the difference between customizable search engines and Google. What exactly is this? Kind of give me your expert opinion and break this down for me.
Well, I would say if you're talking about the customizable search engines, Bing would probably be right there to give somebody a very good experience. Bing is a very beautiful, if you ever used Windows Phone 8 or even the new Windows 8, it's a very beautiful interface. It's a Metro-style interface. And Bing really does give you so many useful pieces of information as far as shopping, food, localized content, but for the overall just searching in general, I don't think it's going to take. It's going to take anything short of a miracle to get people to not go into this Google search bar or even go to Google.com to search. It's just, I think it's impossible, in my opinion.
It seems to be that they have a giant stranglehold, as I was saying, on all sorts of different things. How did this happen? How did this get to be basically the new normal, basically?
We did it. You're talking about the stranglehold. We're strangling ourselves. We give Google. This is where people get a little bit. It seems like people are usually paranoid about people screwing them over, but they're okay with just throwing every bit of personal information, Social Security number, birthday, their mother's maiden name, all this other stuff that Google and Facebook, or even put up personal pictures that they wouldn't even show to people within their family. They'll throw it up on Facebook, and that's all information that's actually being sold to advertisers. We are being sold. We are the product of Google and Facebook, and that's why they can give it away for free, because it's really not free. We're giving them all the stuff they need for free on the other end.
It's an amazing process. We've got Michael Monner with us today. Amazing guy. T4show.com. That's T4show.com. Google at the Crossroads. Google is at a crossroads is the topic today. 2/3 of the market still go to Google. You say this is not going to change anytime soon. What would it take to make that change?
Money and information. I think that's why I say Facebook and Apple are the two, because Apple has how many iPhones in the world right now activated and in use. Facebook has how many people with the Facebook app are visiting the website through their accounts. they're the only two that have all the mind share and the market to go ahead and say, we're going to open up a search engine because we already have 500 million people or tens or hundreds of millions of people to function with this and really bring it in. Iowa 6 Maps is a good example. Didn't really have off to a great start, but now that people are using it more and more, and Apple's getting that information, that data, now the maps are consistently getting better with time.
We've got a great guest with us today, and he is just Mr. Technology, pretty much, when you think of this guy. I know that you do the technology thing, but you're also a part-time professional wrestler. You're the current champion of an organization I don't know if I can mention on the air, but you were talking. You're still the Extreme Rising heavyweight champion, and I know you were talking one time about how you're the guy in the locker room that helps all the wrestlers with their technology. What are some of the guys when you go to some of these shows? And I know that there's got to be others that are into technology as well. Probably not know as much as you do. But what do they say when different topics like this come up with Google, or with, like you were talking about, Apple with their maps and things? Do any of these guys and girls basically say, hey, Google's not going to lose its foothold anytime soon? I don't know of anybody who, like you were saying, would say, well, I'm going to go Bing it. They usually say, I'm going to go Google it. But what are people saying to you going up down the highways and the byways?
Well, most wrestlers say, as I'm talking technology and video games, are saying, listen, shut up, Stevie, I'm trying to snort this line of cocaine. That's usually the answer that I get. I don't really exactly fit into the locker room too much, but the younger generation, they're a lot more, and I'm speaking mostly of wrestlers with the cocaine wrestlers. But yeah, you didn't expect that one, did you?
No, I didn't, my man. No, I did not. That's awesome, though. But before we let you go, I know that there was a lot of. It seems like there is a lot of technology these days with the smartphones and everything, and the tablets. Do people use their phones to actually make phone calls anymore?
It's a great question. A lot of these carriers, like even T-Mobile, have a great plan for $30 that offers 100 minutes but unlimited text and data, up to 5 gigs. And even if you were to make a call, you can do it over something like Google Voice and just use the data. So you're absolutely right. Most people don't ever want to communicate anymore. I mean, things we're doing right now, I'm surprised we're not just doing most of my interviews, put it this way, most of my interviews are either requested to be email or text-based to go back and forth.
Oh, really? Wow.
I mean, even radio interviews don't involve the voice anymore. So it's a weird trend. I don't think it's a positive trend, though. I think that's where we're losing our community. That's where we're losing the world as a community right there, when nobody's talking to each other, and it's going to blow up into something even worse. We've seen the terrible things that have happened just this week. I think that's because it's a communication breakdown sometimes between people.
Yeah. Well, Michael, I appreciate you being on with us today, and good luck with everything in and out of the technology world. And I always enjoyed chatting with you, and I always love seeing your posts on Facebook. So it's always fun stuff. Michael, appreciate you being on with us today, and have yourself a wonderful rest of the week.
You too. Thank you very much.
Thank you much, my man. Later. Michael Bonner with us today here on the big broadcast, and the current Extreme Rising heavyweight champion. If you want to know how funny that is, if you're a professional wrestling fan, you know how funny that is. We're going to take a quick time out here. When we get back, we've got more, so keep it locked, keep it loaded to the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Show.
Welcome to the Racing to Success Minute with Nadine Lajoie. Do you know how much communication is important to close a deal? If you are speaking too slow and people are not having
Jiggy Jaguar. Jiggy Jaguar.
...24/7, 365, and available worldwide on the internet. This is the #1 talk show online, the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Show.
Back here on the big broadcast, we've got the guys from Judge Jackson joining us today here on the program, talking about their music, and also going to be talking about some of the different things they've got planned for this summer with the with the big festivals and everything of that nature. I welcome the guys from Judge Jackson to the broadcast. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
My name is Todd McTavish. I'm the singer for Judge Jackson, and it's a pleasure being on air with you guys today, James. Thanks for having me.
Now, talk to me about Judge Jackson. How'd you guys get together as a group?
Well, the guitar player, Lee Jackson, I met him back in 1995. We were fresh out of high school. I came from Toronto. He came from Dallas, Texas. We met in L.A. Through a mutual friend. Fluke accident, basically. Our conversation gravitated towards our love of songwriting pretty immediately. We figured we'd put our, words to the test and see if we had something. We got together the next day. We wrote a couple tunes effortlessly, and we've been doing that ever since. When the band formed slightly after that with the other couple of guys, we were talking about an identity and a name for the band. And we were using Leonard Skinner as a template, actually, talking about how they named their band after, like, a gym teacher they had in high school that always kind of rattled them about cutting their hair and their rock and roll robe.
Yeah.
So we, at the time we were talking about that story, a letter came in on the table, and it was for Lee, the guitar player, from his mom, and in the left corner where the address is, there was a sticker that said Judge Jackson, and then the address, Dallas, Texas. And I said, who's Judge Jackson? He goes, well, that's my dad. He's a Texas judge. Everyone refers to him as the judge. But the letter's probably from my mom. And I kind of chuckled about that. And I said, does your dad like the rock and roll? And he chuckled about that, saying my dad's never even heard me play guitar at that point. Doesn't really like the rock and roll at all. And it seemed to be an obvious pick at that point to name the band after his dad, Judge Jackson, just in the wake of the story we were talking about for Leonard Skinner. So it just seemed to represent a southern country-ish rock and roll flavor that we were trying to capture in the name, and it just felt personable, and it stuck. And, immediately we've been Judge Jackson ever since, and the thought of even changing the name never really even occurred to us.
Judge Jackson with us today here on the big broadcast. How would you describe your music for a public audience if they've never seen you before?
I would describe our music and our visual presentation as if you were meeting at the crossroads and there were three major wrecks in a tour bus, one band called Guns N' Roses, one band called Led Zeppelin, another band's tour bus called Leonard Skinner, and amidst the rubble and the cloud of confusion, Judge Jackson walked out. And that's how I would describe us, with mixtures of all sorts of those elements in it. The storytelling from like the Leonard Skinner presentation, the Jimmy Page for Led Zeppelin, that's the leading guitar players out of the flavor. And just the chippled attitude that we also carry to the stage and throw down rock and roll. And being from LA, or that's where the band's from, I use Guns N' Roses as a, template of that. I would say to best describe our, flavor on stage for what it's worth.
Amazing stuff. We've got the guys from Judge Jackson joining us today here on the big broadcast. If you had to describe your music in 3 or 4 words, what would you call it?
kick friggin' ass. I don't know. I'll have to think about that a little bit longer, but, you know, we covered the bases. We got some slower stuff, but, you know, I got into it years ago from watching a buddy sitting around the campfire with his acoustic guitar singing with his buddy and getting all the chicks. And I found the songs that they were singing, it just moved me. It wasn't just a visual thing, but it got my soul. It rattled my soul. And that's what introduced me to it in that aspect. And so we've got those songs where you can sit down with acoustic and just play them. They're real easy. And we've also got the rock and roll tunes that we can turn up to 11, man, and throw down, you know, and, you know, give you a presentation and not boo you to sleep at the same time.
Amazing stuff. Judge Jackson joins us today. Can you talk to me about some of your songs? What are they about? What specific themes do you guys cover?
Well, there's a song on the record right now that we're pushing called Keep On Truckin'. And but the last record was called Drive, and there was a song on there as well. And Keep On Truckin' is basically, you know, all our songs usually generally tell someone they're about life. Just about the way I see it and kind of experience it through my perspective and my friends and just putting stories down. Keep On Truckin' is just about the drive to keep on doing what you do and being proud of what you're doing, whether you're where you want to be or you're still trying to get there. It's just about not giving up and just keep on keeping on. And to me, that song best describes not only that song, but just the record in general. The songs gravitate towards just a hopeful position of life, trying to look at the positive side, but also recognizing with the lyrics, there's a lot of tough stuff going on out there. You know, it's not all, you know, gravy, you know, ice cream and cake, as we all know. So there's this sense of struggle, you know, and I would gravitate our music towards the blue-collared, middle-of-the-road, working-class citizen. That's what I've always thought we gravitate well towards, because in the songs, I think there's a relationship, because it's honesty. We're not going to fool you with the smoke and the mirrors and all that stuff. What you see is what you're going to get, and we're going to throw down and we're going to give you what you want. that's confidence, but that's also 1,000+ shows over the years talking to, and feeling we can back up what we say and proud to do it. You know, we live this life, you know, this is what we've been doing for a long time. So there's something that's just part of us now, and it's in those songs, and it's just real, and it's real honest. If you get into the record, you'll start identifying with the material, I think, just because it's honest.
We've got a tremendous guest with us today. Judge Jackson joins us here on the Bike Broadcast. How long have you guys been performing live?
Well, I was asking him about this the other day, and he seemed to say our first show was January 1996. So I don't know what the math works out to be, but a couple years, you know. We've been around. We've been doing so. We're a working band. You know, that's how I would describe us. And at this point, you know, if the price is right or the situation is right, we're there. We've driven thousands of miles just to do a couple shows and turned around and gone home again. And, you know, it's kind of crazy at times, but what we won't do for rock and roll, I've always said what separates the guys that are doing it or the guys that aren't doing it, sitting on the couch talking about it. You got to go out there and put in the miles. And there's where you write songs called Drive and Keep On Truckin', because, you know, you put in the miles, you see the stages, you see the dives that you play, but there's something just fun about it. The smell of the place, you know, if you don't like that, you're in the wrong business at that point. And so there's certain elements right down to a sound check that I like, and we all get off on and just enjoy each other's presence out there, and being part of a team, being in a band, being part of an extended family in that capacity, and looking at each other like that. That's the way we try and approach it. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, as we all know. But for the most part, you know, you just always have each other's back and keep it real. Be honest about it. The industry's pretty whacked, as we all know. So you really have to have a passion and a love and find your piece of it, and then just focus on that. But at the end of the day, if you're in it for the right reasons, I've always said, you're going to have a good time, you know. It's a great industry to be a part of if you're in it for the right reasons, whatever they might be for you. For me, it's the lyric writing, the songwriting, and getting up there and presenting that, and just still getting a kick out of it after all those years, if not more of a kick out of it now. So it's kind of crazy, but we certainly love it.
Judge Jackson joins us today. If you had to categorize your music, what genre would it fit into?
I would just say straight up rock and roll. You know, straight up rock and roll. There's nothing frilly about it. It's just real. If you like Leonard Skinner and Led Zeppelin and Guns N' Roses and just some of the new bands too that are out there that are fresh but real, you're gonna like us. You know, I think I've heard many times people hear our songs and go, "Wow, these are like really good." I'm surprised we haven't heard of you. And it's like, yeah, I am too. But yeah, here we are, and we just keep doing it. You know, the record's called Six. It's our sixth release. And, you know, I'd like to think the songs get a little better, the productional value gets a little better, even if we're trying to keep it raw to a certain degree. But any listener can throw it in their stereo and go, this is all right. Yeah, them songs I keep on trucking with, even the line in there. We're not in Kansas anymore. I don't know where you're located, but I saw Kansas come up on my phone.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are broadcasting on 50-plus stations across the U.S. and Canada today. We've got Judge Jackson joining us today. What do you feel distinguishes an artist from just a musician?
That's a good question. Not much, you know, but probably the bank account. You know, musician, I mean, if you get it going and you're a solid, good musician, you're always going to be working. You're going to be doing your sessions. You're going to get paid. But an artist is creating that music that these guys are playing. And there's way more of a risk in that because it's not just easy to write stuff that people are going to like, you know. And that's the trick as an artist, to get to a point where, I don't want to say it's commercially acceptable, but maybe to a point where you're making a living, making money. At the end of the day, if you're not eating, you're not doing art. You got to keep things real. So an artist, there's a lot more risk involved. However, with a true artist, I think it comes from within. It's almost therapy. You got to get it out. I believe God has given you this gift. So to not follow that path that He's given you, that would be the biggest, greatest sin I could only imagine. So it's tough. I think being more of an artist, I think it's more easier to be a musician, if that makes any sense. But I think once the artist is validated, I think it might be a little bit more rewarding too, where all of a sudden you're kind of running the show. They're not working for you. You know, they come in and work for you as far as you're not working for them, I guess is what I'm trying to say, as maybe a hired gun musician might look at it. But everybody's got to know how to play the instrument at the end of the day, one way or the other. So it's all one. Artists are musicians, musicians are artists at the same time. So with all that being said, I don't know where that's led us.
We've got Judge Jackson joining us today here on the big broadcast. Talk to me about some of your immediate music career goals over the next 1 to 3 years.
Sell 1 million downloads of our song Keep On Trucking, and every song that we put out after that. That would be a great goal to have. No, I think with that kind of stuff, like any musician would tell you, if it takes off, it takes off. You write your heart out, you do your best, you put your best foot forward, but you can't make people like you. They're either going to like you or they're not. Whatever that flavor might be, if it's their flavor, you get them, you know. But, you know, at the end of the day, all you can do is what you do, and there's no set solution to whatever that is, you know. You just have to get out there and do what you do.
We've got Judge Jackson joining us today here on the big broadcast. They are a great, great musical group. Talk to me about some of the biggest challenges for you or the group so far.
Biggest challenges? I think just with time, sometimes without that validation of wherever that might be, where the bar you've set for yourself, there can be discouragement that goes with that at times. And so I think the biggest challenge is working together through those lower times. And it's not easy at times. You know, everybody wants everything tomorrow, and a band like us that's been around since '95 are no exception. However, being around and having a little experience under our belt, we also recognize and realize, you know, you got to be in it for the long haul and the love of it, you know. You're not just going to, there's so few Justin Biebers that get that break. That's not going to be us. So what do we have to offer? What do we have to bring to the table? And you can only focus on what you can do. So I think the biggest challenge is just keeping positive and moving forward, even when you're not getting the gigs you want to get or the airplay you're wanting to get, and just work through that and recognize it is what it is. To a certain degree, you can't control that, so don't stress it. But when opportunities come across your plate, make sure you try and capitalize on, you know, the best you can. But I think that's all you can do, and that's the challenge that's there every day for a band or songwriters or anybody for that instance, you know, just every day proving yourself, doing your job, and just trying to get more further down that road to whatever validation you consider realistic and what you're trying to achieve, you know.
Judge Jackson's been our guest today here on the big broadcast. I appreciate you guys making time for us. Before we let you go, tell me how we find you.
JudgeJackson.net. We are online. Of course, we have a Facebook page, and you can get all our music through iTunes, Amazon. We're on all those formats. But you go to our Facebook page, like us, and we'll direct you to all those certain situations that will keep you abreast of what we're up to.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for doing this, my friend, and we will definitely talk to you soon. Thanks for being on with us.
Thanks for having me. Thanks. Have a great day. Thank you.
Definitely. You too. Thanks, man. Judge Jackson here on the big broadcast. We're going to take a quick time out here. When we get back, we've got more. So keep it locked. Keep it loaded to the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Show.
This is Chris Markowski, your watchdog on Wall Street, and this is your watchdog on Wall Street Money Minute. Holy shnikes, that thing went through the roof. Twitter up, closed up 70, almost 73% on the day. Well, our trading philosophy was right. If you got the IPO price, well, then you know what? Sell it. Sell it. It traded as high as $50 a share before settling at, around $44.90 a share. I think this bad boy is going to have to settle down a little bit here. The market capitalization on this thing is patently absurd. Absurd. And eventually stocks trade for what they're worth. There's an intrinsic value to everything. Sometimes they trade above, sometimes they trade below. When they trade below, that's when you want to buy. But eventually they'll trade at what they're worth. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Watchdog on WallStreet.com.
Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K. The number 12 weeks.com.
Hey, Monica, that's quite a nice car you've got there, but how do you afford a Porsche on your salary?
I have my secrets.
President Obama's
Come
second
on,
term
Monica,
agenda
help
faces
me.
some big
Here's
headwinds.
my secret.
Gun control
Forex scalping.
Forex. I've heard of that. It's some sort of investment. But wait, when did you have time to learn how to do that?
By going to fxaddicts.com and taking their live online course.
And how long did that take? A year?
5 days.
Only 5 days?
Yes. And I received a free copy of Forex Secrets, successful scalping strategies from the dark side.
I bet it was expensive.
Nope, only $147.
So only 5 days and $147? Where do I sign up?
At fxaddicts.com. And if you tell them I told you about it, you can get 10% off the course and get the book.
What a sweet deal.
Yes, Tom, it is a sweet deal. That's fxaddicts.com or call us direct at 646-396-8108.
Do you have a breathing problem or know someone who does? Jason here for AJ Pure Air. I want to recommend an air purifier that will change people's lives today. The new Silent Night air purifier blows the competition away with a new filtering technology known as ZEPA. That's with a Z for Zero Emissions Particle Arrestor. Get this, it is totally silent because there is no fan. Silent Night puts out 100 cubic feet of near-perfect air per minute, continually capturing thousands of allergens, dust mites, mold spores, and germs. This ZEPA concept machine is more effective, totally silent, uses 1/10 of the energy, and it is 40% less expensive. Check out the Silent Night at ajpureair.com. That's ajpureair.com. 3 words says it all. Wow and totally silent.
JG Traveler, bringing you the unique blend of music, sci-fi, and vlogging, entertaining over 500,000 people and continuing worldwide. Let's go traveling across the world with JG Traveler. Find him on YouTube, JG Traveler. It's youtube.com/JG Traveler. Oh yeah.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily? This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
Out Loud Minute. The Out Loud Minute. President Obama apologizes to Americans on the fact that millions are losing their health insurance.
This is Chris Markowski, your watchdog on Wall Street, and this is your watchdog on Wall Street Money Minute. Federal Reserve Bank of New York President William Dudley said yesterday that any effort to reduce the threat to financial stability posed by massive financial firms also must include compelling banking executives to have more respect for the law and the broader impact on society of their actions. How the hell do you do that, man? How do you get bad guys, how do you get leopards to change their spots? I find this amazing to me. He writes, there is evidence of deep-seated cultural and ethical failures at many large financial institutions. Thank you, William Dudley. Congratulations. You too can come down and claim your Master of the Obvious prize. Give me a break. Watchdog on wallstreet.com.
Welcome to the Racing to Success Minute with Nadine Lajoie. Do you know how much communication is important to close a deal? If you are speaking too slow and people are not having enough energy, it's not the same thing than if you are speaking too fast and nobody understands what you are telling or what you are trying to sell. So having a better communication is key to be able to have a better relation with your client. And at the same time, you need to discover the need of your client and communicate exactly, usually about at the same rhythm than the client. If the client is speaking slower than you, you need to slower your pace and vice versa. So have a better communication this week. My name is Nadine at nadineracing.com.
Back here on the big broadcast, we've got a great guest with us today. She's been on the broadcast a couple times in the past. We wanted to get her on today to chat about Actors Radio. And Pepper J joins us. Pepper, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank God, James. Thanks for having me.
Now, talk to me about, you've recently started a radio, is it like a podcast directory? Well, what exactly is this?
There are so many wonderfully talented people out there putting radio shows together. I've run into several as guests on one of our chat shows, Actors Eat Chat, or the interview show on Actors Reporter, that I thought, how fun to put together a location where people can take a look at all of these radio stations from all over the world, all in one place. And we are producing some of our own shows, as well as linking out to what will turn out to be scores of all kinds of different radio shows.
Now, Pepper, talk to us about your background. We've had you on the past, and with this radio launch, fill us in on everything.
Well, I was born in Hollywood. I started in the business when I was about 5 as an actor. A lot of the sitcoms that people might not remember, Fury, My Friend Flicka, Sky King, Real McCoy. And I was on the stage and in TV until I was about 15. And then when I finished college, I started again and teaching performance skills. In '73, I put together a production company, and I am one of the producers, both privately for people that want to make music videos, infomercials, small films, and I produce shows on the Actors Reporter and the Actors Entertainment, and now on the Actors Radio channel.
Now, Pepper J joins us today here on the Big Broadcast. She has Actors. Is it Actors Reporter Radio? What is the exact name of this radio section you're doing?
Yes, our newest is Actors Radio, actorsradio.com, and you will find great shows. Eric Easy Zuli has an easy